She lost her husband. She lost her rhythm. But she didn't lose her hands. And every morning they remembered. They remembered how to knead, how to shape, how to rise. Every morning for 5 years she baked a loaf of bread, wrapped it gently, wrote the same 5 words, and left it on the porch. She never knew who took it. She never heard footsteps. She never asked questions. Until the day someone knocked and handed her something that made her cry. This is a story of silence, of giving, of bread and God. It will stir something in you. Stay to the end, because what seems simple may be sacred. Her name was Evelyn. She lived in a small white house at the end of a sleepy street, a cracked walkway, a blue mailbox with faded paint, and a porch swing that creaked when the wind whispered through. She had lived there her entire adult life. 46 years with one man, Henry, her husband, her partner, her quiet, her laughter, her anchor. Henry was a retired carpenter. Big hands, soft smile. Every morning he made coffee. Every evening he kissed her forehead. He loved baking bread. Not for money, not for attention, but because it reminded him of something older than both of them. Nourishment, tradition, time. They would bake together. On Saturdays, she would mix. He would knead. They'd dance around the kitchen like 2 shy teenagers. Then they'd share the warm loaf with jam, salted butter, and silence. It was their ritual until the day he died. It was autumn. The leaves hadn't started turning yet, but the air had. Henry went outside to repair the back fence. He waved through the kitchen window. She waved back. It was the last thing they ever did together. He collapsed before reaching the tool shed. Massive heart attack. Fast, final. The ambulance was too late. The silence came too early. The funeral was brief. No speeches. Just the rustle of jackets and wind and the stubborn ache of goodbye. Afterward, Evelyn returned to an empty house. No coffee smell. No cupboard banging. No sweetheart. Where's the sugar? Just her, and the ticking of a kitchen clock that sounded louder than grief. She didn't know what to do. She wiped the same table twice a day. She folded towels she never used. She watched the birds from the window but forgot what they were called. She ate cereal for dinner. She drank tea she never liked. She didn't cry at first. She didn't do anything. Until one cold morning, 3 months after the funeral, she opened the drawer beneath the sink and found his apron, still folded, still with flour smudges, still smelling faintly of cinnamon and clove. She clutched it, sank to the floor, and let the tears come. When they stopped, she stood up, put on the apron, and baked. The first loaf was clumsy, the crust cracked. The center didn't rise properly. She ate a single slice and left the rest on the counter. The next morning, she baked again. Not because she was hungry, because she remembered the rhythm, the measuring, the patience, the wait. That third day, she had an idea. It came out of nowhere, or maybe from somewhere deeper. She wrapped the bread in brown paper, took a sticky note, wrote, "For whoever needs it most," and placed the bundle gently on her porch swing. Then she watched from the window, nothing, for an hour. Then 2. Then finally, it was gone. She checked the ground. No footprints. Just an empty plate and the sticky note, folded neatly, left behind. The next day, she baked again. Left another loaf. Same note. Gone by lunch. She began baking every day. Monday through Saturday. 1 loaf. Same paper. Same words. Same silence. Became her rhythm. Wake up at 5. Mix dough by 6. Knead. Let rise. Bake by 8. Wrap. Label. Place. She didn't know who took it. She didn't want to know. It didn't matter. What mattered was the doing, the offering, the knowing that something she touched was being held by someone she'd never meet. Months turned into years. 3 years. Then 4. Then 5. Rain, snow, storms. She never missed a day. Sometimes she left a small flower beside the loaf. Sometimes a verse scribbled under the sticky note, but always for whoever needs it most. Then came the knocked-out Tuesday morning. The air was sharp with frost. She had just placed the loaf on the swing when she heard it. Not the mail. Not a neighbor. A knock. Soft, timid, almost afraid. She opened the door. A man stood there, young, maybe 30, beard unshaven, eyes tired, coat damp. He held a package in both hands, wrapped in the same brown paper she had used for years. Inside, a loaf, warm, soft, made from her recipe. He looked at her, and for a moment, neither spoke. Then he said, "I think this belongs to you." She stared. Her hands trembled. He smiled barely. "I don't know where to begin, but I've been taking your bread for years." He stepped back, eyes wet. "I lived on the streets. After my mother died, I spiraled. Addiction, shame, cold nights in a car. No food, no hope." His voice broke. "Then I found the bread. The note, every day, and I felt seen, fed, held." He paused. "I never took the note. I wanted you to know it was working. I folded it and left it, like a thank you I didn't know how to say." She reached out, touched his arm. He continued, "Last year someone helped me. A church, a shelter. I got clean. Found work, even started baking. Thought I'd never say this, but I wanted to bring one back. To return what you gave me." She wept. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just the kind of cry that says, "This mattered. You mattered." He lived. They sat together for hours, in her kitchen. At that old table, one loaf between them, 2 chairs, 2 lives healed. By quiet kindness. From that week on, he came every Tuesday. Together, they baked 2 loaves, then 3, then 4. 1 for her, 1 for him, 1 for whoever needed it most, 1 for the shelter he now volunteered at. They never talked about Henry. They never needed to. He was in the smell of the bread, the warmth of the oven, the flour in the air. He was there. So was God. Some people preach with words, others with hands, and warmth, and bread. You never know who your kindness feeds. But heaven keeps the count. If this story moved you, let it move through you. Comment below. God never wastes love. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Faith Light Stories for more true stories that feed the soul.